Step right up, ladies and gentlemen, one and all, for this breathtaking greatest show on earth tonight. It's a dazzling array of freaks we have on display for you this evening. First up, we have a lady that wants to name her unborn child Richard. Not so bad unless her surname was Hede. Ooh. We also have a 50-year-old virgin. That's right, rarer than a bearded lady. Or is it? And finally tonight we have the skank tamer in Taming the Skank. She's after the men of other women around the office. Ladies and gentlemen, you don't want to miss this one. Step right up for Sweet and Sour.
Got a problem, big or small, would a miracle be nice? Our motley crew is back, churning out advice. You might even laugh a bit in the following half hour. Park your backside on the couch, cause baby it's time for Sweet and Sour. Right here on Sweet and Sour.
Pour some sugar on there, baby.
It's time for Sweet and Sour.
How's about some chili?
It's time
Welcome,
for Sweet
everybody.
and Sour.
He doesn't. It's great to be here this evening on Sweet and Sour. What a fantastic show we've got coming up for you tonight. My hosting skills are on display, as well as the freaks. Glenn Hall, your host this evening, filling in for the delightful Gary Mitchell, who has eaten far too much fairy floss. And joining me on the panel this evening is, first of all, the delightful Meri Fatin. Good evening, Meri.
Hi, Glenn. Thank you so much for having me.
It's a joy for you to come along this evening. What's going on in the world of radio at the moment?
Oh, look, it's always fun and excitement, and, you know, there's plenty of weather to talk about at all times. Yeah, so it's excellent fun on radio.
And what else is going on for you at the moment? Busy
Well,
life?
in my role as part-time UN peacekeeper, of course, I look after my 5 children.
Oh, you were at the football.
Yeah, yes, I was watching the football the other day. We won beautifully, and my son got to run through a banner for his 50th game. I helped make the banner. That was a new experience with a couple of neurotic mums. So, yeah.
So you're almost a footy convert.
Look, I almost know the rules.
Sharon Greenock, thank you for being here this evening.
Well, it's your pleasure and mine.
It is. It's always my pleasure. What have you been? You're look at the mothers we've got here. There's about
We've got
14
10
children
10
between the two.
us.
10 between the two
Just
of
10.
you.
10, and by golly, are they gorgeous?
Yes.
Yes. Well, there's a future Olympian, there's a future AFL player, there's a future peacekeeper. I mean, there's everything. Next, Hugh Jackman, nearly forgot him. So there'll be someone who lives off me for the rest of their lives.
Are you somebody that follows the Tony Awards?
Oh, yes.
Yeah? You
Yes.
like the Tonys?
Yes, I love the Tonys. Yes. Well, my boy will be there in about 10 years, I imagine. No pressure.
No pressure. No pressure, but Sharon says so. Hannah Rice, how are you?
I'm very well, Glenn Hall.
How's the arts degree going?
It's going,
Slash comedy?
it's going really well. I'm graduating this year and I've not done an exam yet. So that's winning.
That is winning. How do you get... Is that because you're doing an arts degree? There's no exams in arts?
Apparently not. Not one that I've found, Glenn.
So you have been looking for an exam to do?
I've searched, but so far all I've had to do is a multiple choice test.
Oh, easy.
Are you sort of carrying a placard around? Exam wanted.
Help me, struggling uni student.
I can't be a real student without doing an exam. How many questions on the multiple choice test?
There were 25
Oh,
and we had 50 minutes.
what a delight.
Oh,
Oh,
they
to be at university
Give the
again.
degrees away these days.
No, but that doesn't mean she's not working hard. You are working hard, aren't you?
I am working hard at a hardware store.
Well, thank you for being here, Hannah. Bree Williams, how are you this evening?
Paul,
Yes.
I am very well, thank you.
You're looking lovely.
Thanks. You look nice.
You know, I try.
Doing a good job.
I like wearing stripes. Now, I was hearing some amazing things about you.
Which area was...
Well, you are an improviser extraordinaire, but you're also a fantastic teacher.
I am. I reach children through the magic of theatre. That's what I like to do.
I think that's fantastic. No, and I think it's great. I think because drama teachers make really good teachers of kids because they don't just stand up in front of the class and deliver the same old boring stuff.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's fun to be able to give them a break from algebra and bring them into the world of Brecht, which was equally confusing. So it's a fantastic gig, and I'm lucky to be teaching drama in a theatre as opposed to in a classroom with desks.
Lovely.
Pretty cool.
Well, thank you for being here tonight. Let's get straight into our first letter. Dear panellists, I've been married now for 2 years, and my husband and I are now 6 months pregnant with a boy. My husband's last name is H-E-D-E, pronounced Head. Over the past few months, as my husband and I have been discussing baby names, he seems to be set on the name Richard, as it was his grandfather's name. When he first told me of his desire to name our baby Richard, I thought he was joking. But to my horror, I discovered that he was being completely serious, and furthermore is ecstatic to honour his grandfather's memory. I've told my husband of my concerns for our child's future. If his name is Dick Head, but he just calls me immature and petty. I know how cruel kids can be, having been bullied throughout school, but my husband thinks I'm being infantile. Am I being immature by thinking that children will pick up on the pun? Or should I simply refuse to name our son Richard? I would appreciate your opinion. Rebecca from Wanneroo in Western Australia. Bree, should she do it or shouldn't she?
Well, look, I had a lot of divided opinions about this one, and I'll share them with you. I've been thinking a lot about names as I crawl towards 30 and remain without child, which is fine. I do often wonder what I would name my kid and what I could do to ensure that they have a successful career in school in terms of just avoiding the bullies. And look, we can bust bullies as much as we want, but they're always out there. They're always waiting. Lots of kids with low self-esteem out there just waiting for one kid with a stupid name to come along so that they can pull them up on it and make them feel terrible for a dreadful mistake by their parents.
So she shouldn't do it?
Rebecca and Wanneroo, no. And frankly, if your husband can't see that it's barely a pun. It's like it's there for the taking. It's basically like killing a joke and leaving it there for the vultures to come and eat it. It's not even a pun. It's just right there in front of them.
Hannah, do you agree?
Well, I don't think I do, Glenn. You see, while our lovely school teacher makes a point, obviously having witnessed a fair bit of bullying as a teacher, perhaps. But you know, someone's got to take a hit. And, you know, if everyone's got names that you can't tease, then what are the bullies going to do, Glenn?
Right.
What will they do with their time?
So what you're saying is she should put her son forwards to kind of soak up a lot of the bullying that other kids might receive, be a diversion for bullies.
Yeah.
Well, no. What about the kids who deserve to be bullied?
All right,
more
no,
than
we're
poor
going to
old
have
dickhead?
let's not get into that. Sharon, what do you think? Is this sensible? I mean, he wants to honour his grandfather's memory.
My grandfather was called Richard as well, Rebecca, and my surname is not Head, and I was never going to give birth and name a child Richard just because of the Dick bit. Dick doesn't go today, okay? You've been married 2 years, I've been married 25 years this year. There are ways we work it out with the men. Starting tomorrow, your husband is going to be known as Richard Head for a week. Because let me tell you, it won't be the kiddies. Nice. It won't be the kiddies, because they won't know the Richard Dick thing these days. That Richard's not a name that's used these days. But when your husband goes to work and says to everybody, my name is now Richard Head, he will see people's faces.
Great. So this is she should contract him to do this for 1 week.
1 week.
That will change his mind.
I can guarantee you he will be back before the week's out and say, darling, I don't know what I was thinking. I love you. What name have you chosen?
Mary, do you think, is this a sensible solution? Do you have another solution?
I think Sharon's solution is brilliant, but I think that Rebecca can indulge her immaturity, her pettiness, her infantility, and what she needs to do is take my practical advice, and that is this. When the baby, who might be named Richard, is born, she should take the registration papers, she should fill them out when her husband is not in the ward, and she should submit them with the name that she prefers, and then anyone who looks at this baby when its father is calling it Richard will just look at the mother askance, and she'll look askance back, and no one will be any the wiser that the child once may have been called Richard.
There you go, Rebecca from Wanneroo. Looks like you need to do a little bit of secret work and keep your husband out of the picture. We're going to be right back with a 50-year-old virgin. No, it's not me. I'm not 50 yet.
It's not me.
Clap. Do whatever you like. Welcome back to Sweet and Sour. Don't forget, if you want to send a letter for our panel to give their views on, send it to letter@sweetandsour.net.au. Also, join our Facebook page. You know where it is. Just click on Facebook and then search for Sweet and Sour and you'll find us there. And tonight's best letter will win a movie pass. Of course, it's a movie pass to Belle and Me, starring Robert Pattinson. There it is. Ooh, Robert, he's so dreamy, Pattinson.
If you're 30
Yeah.
and a girl.
Well, look, this is someone who could use a bit of Robert Pattinson. Well, one bit in particular, I suppose, but here we go. Hello, Sweet and Sour guests. I recently read a description that best describes me. They use the terms situational virgin to define women who reach an advanced age and are still virgins. At the age of 50, that's me. I've not met anyone else my age or older who is, or admitted to being, a virgin. In my youth, it was always too busy for intimate relationships and it seemed like a lot of hassle. Over the past few years, however, I've wanted to pursue a meaningful relationship and explore my sexuality, so I experimented with toys. My concern now is that if I should finally find myself in a relationship and expecting sex, will I have a problem? It would be so embarrassing to discover once I finally meet the right person that sex could be disagreeable or that I have no desire for it. Maybe the party is over and ultimately I'm going to go to heaven still gift wrapped. Are there many of us around? Will they be making the movie The 50-Year-Old Virgin? Some perspectives, please, panellists. Gloria from Greenbush in New South Wales needs our help. Sharon, what should she do?
Gloria, you've got yourself in a bit of a pickle, my love. You have got a problem here. Now, even, you know, I'm almost 50, so I'm with you on the age. I'm not with you on the situational virgin scenario. But embarrassing it will be. I'm going to be straight with you here. It will be very embarrassing because unless you've had a couple of drinks, even now when you're in a long-term relationship, it can be a bit sort of messy because your body's nearly 50. You need a gym membership, my love, and you need to go quickly. You need to get that body in shape. So you're happy with it for a start.
Hold it. You're assuming she hasn't got that body in shape.
She
Maybe
might.
she's doing Pilates and yoga. Maybe that pelvic floor is as strong as, you know,
a pelvic floor's fantastic, let me tell you. Now, she could skip that bit. If you look great, you know yourself. Look in the mirror, start naked, tell me if you're good. If you're good, skip the gym membership, keep what you're doing. Now what you need to do, because you've probably got a bit of cash put aside because you've not got any kids, is you need to employ a fantastic, the best you can afford male escort. Because he has been there. He knows what to do.
Meri, is this really... Is this where you'd start, gym membership and male escort?
Oh, look, I would have to question. I think Sharon was probably right in her assumption that Gloria does need some work. I find it really hard to imagine that you could be 50 and never have been laid. She's neurotic. Gloria, absolutely neurotic. Overthinking the situation way too much. Look, there's a possibility you won't like it. Okay, some people don't. Certain situations you don't like it. Other situations you do like it. Will you have a problem? Yes. Will it be disagreeable sometimes? Hell yes. Will you go to heaven gift wrapped? I bloody well hope not. And that's all I've got to say.
Look, okay, so because it is like Dr. Seuss, you know, try it. You know, try it and you may. You do not like it, so you say, try it and you may. Try it and you may, I say. Is it really as simple as Dr. Seuss here, Hannah? I mean, can you imagine being 50 years old and never having had sex?
Well, I can't imagine it myself right now, but I will say to you, Gloria, there are worse things that could happen.
Oh,
and
no, there's not.
The good thing, Gloria, about you having gotten to this age is, one, if you have sex, you won't get pregnant. That's one major problem. Like, that off it goes, you don't have to worry about it, gone. Okay. Second thing, all right, all the men your age, they're probably gonna be really experienced, right? And they're not gonna think that you're a virgin. They're just gonna go in there, they're gonna do their thing.
And they're gonna think they've done a really good job, because she's gonna be like,
you are gonna be in a state of euphoria, and then you know, once it's done once, you're not a virgin anymore.
Brie, what do you think?
Well, Hannah's right with the science. Once it's done once, you're not a virgin anymore.
Can't
argue with science.
No.
But you can't undo it.
You can't be re-virginized.
You can't be re-virginized, no matter what any sci-fi show will tell you. Look, Gloria, some people are just born to dance, or born to wear cravats, or born to run, or born to write poetry. You don't have to be born to do this. And like, whilst I appreciate the views of the other panelists, I think you're probably just fine the way you are. Being single is great, and it allows you a lot of time for self-development. I think, like, I'll be honest with you, meaningful relationships are a hassle. They're great. I hope my boyfriend doesn't see me say that, but they are absolutely, they take a lot of work and a lot of time, and you've been able to devote all that time and work that people put into other people on yourself. So you're probably like twice the person.
There you go, Gloria from Greenbush. You've heard it first. Look, I think the message is simple. Do what feels right, and if it doesn't feel right, don't do it. We'll be back after this with a little more sweet and sour. That's about right?
Don't waste your mad rant on Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn. They don't care. We do. Write into us at the Sweet and Sour panel and we'll solve all your problems.
It's very exciting. Here we are back at Sweet and Sour. Thanks for coming back, ladies. I really appreciate it. It's good that we've got an all-female panel tonight to deal with this letter, because I don't want to get in trouble as a man. It's something I'm known to do quite often. Dear panel, our problem is the office skank. She's 19 and the biggest man-eater you could ever imagine. There are 4 girls in our section and 5 guys, and she's been through all of them, plus other guys in other departments. Kind of the opposite to our last letter, really.
Yeah.
She just chats them up, takes them home, and then moves on to the next one. The other girls in the office and I have banded together, and we've decided to stop her one way or another. If we don't, we'll never get a look in, and we'll have to settle for the leftovers. So how can we stop her? She's just being greedy and not playing fair. Talia from Port Adelaide in South Australia. Hannah, is this a real problem? What can Talia do?
I think it is a problem, but Talia, if this skank would look at any of the guys that you'd be interested in, do you really want to be with them? Because it sounds to me like she's only going for people that would go for someone like her, and it sounds to me like she's a bit of a slut.
So if the other ladies set their standards a little bit higher than what the office skank sets her standards at, is that what you're saying?
Exactly. And Talia, are you really going to limit yourself to just the people who are in your workplace? There is a whole world of men out there, and
Especially in Port Adelaide.
Especially in Port Adelaide. I haven't been, but I imagine it's brimming with single young chaps. But while an office romance can end positively, I think that you should forget about this woman and really just go looking elsewhere, because you're not going to find it in the place where she's going around and, you know, banging everybody.
Oh, Brie, should she quit a job or should move somewhere else?
Look, I've got a few stern words for Talia, actually, Glenn. Firstly, the wording in this second paragraph here, there are 4 girls and 5 guys and she's been through all of them. All the ladies and the guys? Is it the biggest office skank the world has ever seen?
Right.
But Talia, what I really want to know is, why do you want these lame-o guys that you work with? Why don't you and the other 3 girls get some self-esteem and don't go for guys, exactly like what Hannah was saying, don't go for guys who are willing to just have a dirty, sloppy one-night stand with some office bimbo. I think both parties are at fault here. I think the guys are totally lame, and I think you girls are really playing into their hands. You can be better than this. Don't go down that road. Go to another road and then be office skanks in someone else's office, if that's what you want to do.
Look, Sharon, I think all the stats I'm hearing are that there's a shortage of blokes everywhere.
No,
Is there a shortage of blokes?
No, well, this young lady that Talia calls a skank is obviously not finding a personal shortage, is she? Talia, you've heard the phrase, man up, it's time for you to woman up. How attractive are you? Whinging and whining and moaning? You know, have a little positive energy about yourself, for goodness sake. This other girl obviously has. Makes no difference whether she's doing 1 night, 4 nights, 7 nights. I mean, just perk yourself up a bit. Wear something a little more attractive. Put some heels on. I can imagine you drudging in there, just ready for another moan and a whinge. It's just not attractive. That's why you're not getting anyone, my love. Someone needs to tell you.
You're saying that this other lady's not being a skank, she's just being
I
vibrant.
have no idea what this other lady's doing, but she's just having a nice time, whereas Talia's having a miserable old time. You know?
So do you think Talia should fight fire with fire, Meri?
I do, and I think that Talia and her female colleagues should just be a little bit naughty with this, a little bit of, you know, troublemaking should go on, and I think they should choose a day, and I think they should call it, say, Skank Tuesday. And on Skank Tuesday, they should all rock up to work dressed the way the office skank is dressed. They should behave the way the office skank behaves.
Well, Talia might look a bit better if she does.
Well, they should just stage an intervention, basically. And then when she is inquisitive about why they're dressed that way, or horrified, or however she might feel, then they can say to her, look, we're just giving you a bit of your own medicine, love. You know, if this is how you're going to behave around the office, then what's good for you is good for everybody else. And I think she'll, you know, holding a mirror to her will be all that she needs.
So I actually like that, Skank Tuesday. I think that could be, you know, they have like a Loud Shirt Friday to raise money for charity. I think we should get a charity onto this.
It could work.
Skank Tuesday.
Casual Friday? Casual Sex Friday.
Casual Sex Friday.
I've never heard Skank Tuesday and a spirited intervention used in the same setting. It's fascinating that you would do that, Meri.
I didn't say spiritual intervention.
I mean, the guys are just going to love that though. That's what concerns me, is this is all just pandering to the guys.
They already had Slutty McSlutface like handed to them on a plate. Like, come on.
Anyone who's got any self-respect does not aspire to sleep with the guys in the office. I mean, let's get over ourselves
I've
right
been in
then
your
and there.
office. I can understand where you're coming from.
It does say that she's been through the girls and the guys. Maybe Talia, if you're feeling left out, maybe you should see what all the fuss is about. And
she's obviously up for
hook in on this 19-year-old.
I think we should put her in touch with Gloria,
the 50-year-old
and let her
virgin.
know what her future's like, unless she bucks up her ideas, so to speak. Meri, Fatin, thank you so much for coming in tonight.
It's been great fun, Glenn.
Thank you for coming. Sharon Greenock.
Thank you so much.
A delight, as always. Hannah Rice, thank you.
Thank you, Glenn.
Brianna Williams.
Glenn Hall.
It's been great. Now, who should get the sunglasses from Aussie Opticals? Who do we like? Who's letter? Who needs the sunglasses the most? I mean,
Mrs. Head.
Mrs. Head.
Yes, Rebecca Head.
She's going to need it to cover up her face when her son's called Dickhead, I think.
Yeah, she's going to want to be hiding in the drop-off zone at school.
Incognito.
Yeah. Hiding
And when
from
she
the
has
crowds
to
of Wanneroo
call him in the
mothers.
playground, Dick.
And we'll leave you with those gentle calls in the background of Dick. It's been another episode of Sweet and Sour. Thanks very much to my guests, and you'll see Gary Mitchell back next week, we hope. Bye now.